We're back in the
In
room.
in the freaking room. Back in the freaking room. Whoop. Whoop.
Yeah, I'm back in a different room. So
Yeah.
as you can see,
Crowd.
I know. Anyway, welcome back. I am back. I am back from my operation.
Back,
Uh,
Martin.
yeah. So I was in the hospital about 5 or 6 days ago now. Went into hospital. They removed a lump of my kidney. Went in there. Bish bash bosh. It was a robot assisted surgery.
Wow.
So I don't know what the robot did. I mean, I don't know how much of the workload that they took on, but yeah. So I've been I do feel like I've just been beaten up. That's the general vibe of me. I feel like I was royally kicked over.
Right.
But yeah. But
And we were saying just before we came on, that, like, we were kind of really lucky in the UK with like really good health system and stuff. And America gets its knocked, in terms of not having much healthcare system for like people that can't afford it, blah blah blah. But as you were saying, you had like the safest hands, like
yeah,
best
yeah.
people, best
I,
facilities.
oh yeah, I was like at the second best hospital in the
Mm.
entire USA. So yeah, yeah, I'd yes, I had one of the best surgeons
Mm.
that you could possibly have.
Mm.
He was a typical surgeon in that I don't know how many surgeons you've kind of dealt with, but the good
Mm.
ones are very like they have no sense of humor almost. They are like
Right.
they're like some sort of like
They're very
I don't know what
particular, aren't they?
they are
Apparently,
very like yeah,
they say
yeah,
there's a lot of narcissism in amongst surgeons.
right. But
Just
yeah,
because they're extremely, I don't know, how can I put it? Yeah,
don't know.
I
But
mean,
I
that kind of work must attract a certain kind of person, you
right,
know?
absolutely. I don't I I I don't know whether there's more autistic people who
Mhm.
become surgeons. I don't know. It kind of almost feel like that could be something. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like that kind of very methodical um, kind
God,
of
yeah.
thinking. But so my
Mhm.
goal was, as it always is when I go into hospitals, is to make friends with everyone, even the guy
Mhm.
just pushing you around, learn their
Right.
name, make them
Mhm.
laugh, right? Make
Mhm.
them laugh
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
I feel like they're going to treat me better if they
Right.
like me.
When push comes to shove.
I know that I'm people pleasing, but I'm people pleasing for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm
Mhm.
pleasing them, but I want them to
Mhm.
please me because I'm
Yeah.
vulnerable. And he was the
Well,
toughest nut to the surgeon was the toughest nut to crack.
the crack. Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a
Yeah,
tough audience.
right. So
That's a tough, as are nurses, actually.
nurses, I could make them all laugh. Right,
Mm.
I got them all in the end, but
Mhm.
the surgeon, I was whipping those
Mm.
jokes out. He was not
Mhm.
laughing
Mhm.
until right at the end. He literally
Mhm.
left the room, and
Wow.
I said, you know, because I said, oh, you know, thanks a lot, thank you
Mhm.
so much
Mhm.
for your work. And he was just
Mhm.
he just disappeared out the room, and I said, I'll get whoop, I'll give you a 5-star Yelp review. And then I just heard him laugh
Nice.
outside the room. I was like, yes,
Right. But that's the thing.
finally.
I imagine if you're like me, it wasn't just about, okay, like the the pleasure or the joy or whatever, the dopamine in making fun out of a serious situation, but that extra challenge of making
Hmm.
him laugh.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So that
I
was
had
good.
something similar when I went for a uh, mm, COVID test in Palermo.
Hmm.
Like it was like 4 o'clock in the morning, and it was all kicking off, and people were acting like complete arseholes and wanting to be at the front of the queue and demanding to get special treatment and blah blah blah. It was all kicking off and quite unpleasant. There was little old me standing outside in the cold in February, even in Palermo, waiting my turn, seeing it all kick off, and I'd had my they gave me a swab. They
Hmm.
put a swab up my nose and it really hurt.
Oh,
And then I
nice.
waited 5 hours,
What?
5 hours watching ambulances come and go with drugs and blah, 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 all kicking off. And I was like, I don't want to give these people any more trouble than they already have. Even though it's like, fucking hell, 5 hours. I'm waiting for like, do I have COVID? Don't I?
That's
Finally, they
insane.
called my name and I went in and I said to the guy, the doctor, and I could tell he was really fucking stressed and pissed off and just
Hmm.
had it right up to his eyes, with difficult patients, difficult people. And I said, "What was my result?" I said, "What are you talking about? Did you not get it?" I said, "Well, to be honest," I told him, "Look, I saw it all kicking off. I didn't want to give you any more problems than you're already having." And so that was an example of like not. It was me not like joking in that situation. It was me kind of like making peace with him, like say, "Look, I'm one of the good guys."
Hmm.
And he like his reaction was amazing. He's like, "Okay." He really appreciated it, and he said, "I'm going to give you all the tests you need. Just like
Ah,
kick back. Don't worry. I'm going to give you all the tests." And he was really cool. Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right. Well, with that,
with that
uh, welcome
long
to
introduction,
ADHDville.
you were working as a waitress in a cocktail bar when I met you. I picked you out, or shook you up, and turned you around, turned you into someone new.
Nice. I like that. That
With
humanly
League.
early '80s reference.
Exactly. Now 5 years later, and you've got the world at your feet. Success has been so easy for you, but don't forget it's me that put you where you are now.
All right.
Anyway,
Are you going to introduce yourself?
yeah, I am. That was actually relevant because we're going to talk about lyrics a bit later.
All right.
Hello, my name is Paul Thompson. I was diagnosed with the combined ADHD a year and 2 days ago, Martin.
And I'm Martin West, and I was diagnosed with the ADHD combined poo poo platter in 2013. Meh.
So we should probably tell you by right at this point that we're just like two mates who, by coincidence, after 39 years of friendship, discover whether we're two ADHDers
Hmm?
combined, co-ADHDers
Combined.
combined.
We're combined.
No, it's really important to say this is an entertainment podcast, Martin, about adult ADHD, and does not substitute for individualized advice from qualified health
God, no.
professionals. No, no, no. So don't take any advice from us. We're just here as a kind
No.
of all-inclusive ADHD park bench with
Park
room for
bench.
everyone, including your doppelgangers, your alter egos, your buddy doubles, your chaperones, and even your
Chaperones.
best buddies.
Buddies.
Okay, still here. Congratulations, you've done well already. Then grab your jetpacks, your pedalos, space hoppers, or any other transportation methods, and
Hmm.
let us take you to ADHDville, Martin,
ADHDville.
an
Yeah.
imaginary town that we've created in our
Where?
minds.
In
You
our
already knew that. I don't know why I'm
mind.
telling you that.
In our
Where we like
minds.
to explore different parts of the A, the D, the H, and the D.
Indeed. And we start off,
Yes.
as always, here in the town hall, in the mayor's office, where we, the joint mayors of ADHDville, take care
Hello.
of business. Hello,
Hello.
dear electorate. I know that there is an election going on here at ADHDville
Yeah,
for our jobs. This happens
we're
every
right in
once
the
in a
middle
while.
of it.
We're right in
We're
the
in the
middle of
middle of
our
our
own
elections.
election. Hmm.
Hmm.
So there'll be more on that coming up. But right
We
now,
did try and change the laws. We did try and make it so that we're mayors indefinitely.
yeah. But that would be
But
a bit
apparently
undemocratic.
that's what they said. Yeah.
That's what they said. And we went, okay, all right.
It's a fair point.
If you want to be like that, then.
Yeah. You want to be difficult.
Right. So we've got one item on the agenda today, and this one's going to be a fun one.
Yes.
I can tell.
Fun one. It's a fun
Look at
one.
me, I'm waving my finger around.
It's one of those ones
because
where I'm really curious. To, like we generally write our scripts separately, and I'm curious to hear Martin's.
Yeah. So am I.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about our own top 10 weird ADHD things personally.
Getting down and dirty.
Right. So the 10 things I find weird about my own ADHD, and we'll go through Paul's. And where are we going to go and do that, Mr. Thompson?
I think we're going to go to the basement, Martin.
Yes, because that's where all the weird things always happen, in the basement.
Going underground. Going underground, as the jam said.
Great. If you can just push the button for the elevator or for the lift.
Pushing it.
There we go. All right. Oh, there we go. Let's get in.
Down arrow.
All right. Down we go. Yep. It's a long way down.
It's a long way down. Have you ever been, out of curiosity, been to the war rooms in Westminster, Martin?
Where I don't think so, no.
Okay.
Blimey, how far down is this? Oh, here we go. All right.
Oil. We need to oil those wheels a little bit.
Those doors. Right. Speaking of squeaking, I was talking to my sister-in-law this weekend, who listens to our podcast all the time.
Fabulous.
I know. How fabulous
is she ADHD or?
I wouldn't like to say, but
okay.
I mean, you know, I have no formal diagnosis or anything. I don't think there is one, but
okay.
Yes, but she has complained about my squeaky chair. So
okay, is that why you changed rooms?
No, because I still have the same chair. So I'm just really conscious to kind of not move my chair so it doesn't squeak. Right. So I've got to get some WD-40 to spray it so that I can not worry about it. So yeah, so and this will be a chair squeak-free episode.
Okay, lube-free.
Lube. It is lubed. No, I thought yes, it is.
Any lube brands out there at this moment listening to us, it's a great opportunity to think about sponsoring us.
Jump in.
We could do with a lube sponsor.
All right, let's crack on. And I've got my top 10 things, and you've got top 10 things. So I think what we'll do is it will build up to our number one weirdness, and we'll start at number 10, and we'll kind of go back and forth. I guess it all depends on. Do you want to go first, Mr. T?
Okay,
do you want to break the ice?
Yeah, like descending order. Well, breaking the ice is actually quite poignant, Martin. It's almost a good segue. Very good. Okay. Very good.
All right. So first on your list is what? Sorry.
I've called it waterboarding. Okay. Water in my face. Can't do it. I cannot do it. So you imagine waterboarding is like a famous classic for torture.
Yeah.
Imagine for me that'd be like threefold. I cannot. If I'm in the shower. For me to put my face under the shower is an effort, a big one.
Right. It's a sensory issue.
Yeah. And I think I've heard it before from other ADHDers, actually.
Yeah, I have the same thing.
Do you?
I have the same. You're right. So I go swimming, which is obviously there is a big chance that I will get water on my face. Yeah. Things my face is near a large volume of water, and I'm in it. Mm-hmm. So I avoid swimming anywhere near any splashy people. You know,
Right.
you can get
Yes,
you can
exactly.
get people who
Mhm,
swim and splash a
mhm.
lot. So I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
So I
Mhm.
swim with all the really old people, or in that area if I can, where
Right.
where
Yeah.
where they are just doing like a nice casual
Mhm,
a casual breaststroke and not really
mhm,
causing much of a ripple at all. And I
mhm.
just join
Right.
them. And I'm
Mhm.
another old guy doing very slow,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
non-splashy swimming.
Yeah. So
Mm.
that's quite an easy one to dip our toe in the water, quite literally. How about
Yeah.
you, Martin? On your first on
My
your
number
list?
10, I think I'm going to lose a lot of the audience at this point.
Okay.
They're all going to hate me because my weird number 10 weird ADHD thing is I have no problem sleeping. So
Right.
you know how normally with ADHD, like it's quite
Mm,
common to go to bed and then suddenly your mind is racing with a
mm,
load of stuff
mm,
and you can't sleep, you know.
mm,
And that certainly does happen once in a while.
mm, mm,
Rarely though, mostly. And I'm going to
mm.
brag a little. I'm sorry,
Oh,
but I
okay.
can go to bed at, I don't know, say I go to bed at 10. I
Mm,
can be asleep in 5 minutes and then not wake
mm.
up for like 8 hours. I can
Yeah.
get a
I,
solid
I'm
night.
exactly the same. I
Weird.
remember when I first looked into ADHD, and it's like, oh, most ADHDs struggle to sleep. I thought, oh shit, maybe I don't have ADHD. That was like the one thing I thought, no, I sleep like a log.
Yeah. I don't know
I
why,
sleep
but
really well.
I'm grateful that I do because actually if I struggled
Mm,
there, I think my day
oh God,
would be a nightmare. And I think
yeah.
that's probably one of the
Mm.
reasons why
I
I
need eight
managed to be.
hours.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
8 hours. But yeah, I'm
All
really
right.
grateful that I do get the sleep because it would make my ADHD way worse. I
Bleh,
feel,
bleh.
my God, yeah.
All
Okay.
right. Number 9.
Number 9, I've got here. I've called it selective OCD, Martin, but
Okay.
it's really selective. It's like if I'm in a bar or a pub or
Mm-hmm.
a restaurant, and a waiter brings me over a wine glass or a beer, and they put it
Yeah.
on a beer mat. That beer or that glass has to be bang in the middle of the beer mat.
Oh.
Bang in the middle, and it's really specific because there's I don't have ADHD in pretty much anything else, right? But
Right.
in that is really like specific, and I started to really notice it.
Right.
Even
So,
if like the table is organized at a restaurant in a certain way, I always have to move things around.
okay.
I'll always like move where the center of the table, what's it called, the centerpiece, or the
Mm-hmm.
flowers, or the bottle of water. I always have to move it in a different place to where they'd put it.
Right.
So it's like
So
very
if
restaurant related. It's very specific to like a restaurant
okay.
situation or
So
bar.
you have like a coaster in front of you and someone brings you a
Yeah,
beer, puts it down, you
yeah,
notice that it's off center
yeah,
and you just go, right, no, I've got to chug all
yeah.
that, put it in. And then you
Right.
take a swig and then when you put it down, you
Mm,
make sure that it's dead center again.
totally. Yeah, yeah. And by the way, important note is I've got a really good sense of something being centered or aligned, like a really
Mm-hmm.
precise.
Right.
Like I could see,
I
probably because
know
of my
what you
job,
mean.
I yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
you can basically just bang on. Yeah, because we both do graphic design, have
yeah.
done for years. So you can
Mm,
you know where center is. Like you've got
God, yeah,
this real kind of eye for it.
yeah,
That's interesting.
exactly.
I
It
like
is.
that. All right,
Have you got
number
any like
9.
OCD kind of like things or
Well, I don't know. Let's just carry on up the
okay?
list, shall we?
Let's carry
See if
on.
anything comes up.
Okay.
Number 9. Feeling like I'm in trouble when anyone says my name. Like,
Oh, right.
doesn't matter
Okay.
what it is. Like, if I hear the word
Mm,
Martin, I'm like, oh no, I'm in trouble. That's it. What the
mm,
hell's gone wrong? What has
mm,
gone wrong now? Oh,
mm,
Jesus Christ. Let me go and see
mm,
what this is. And I have an impending dread about
mm.
whatever is coming
Uh-huh.
up.
Mm.
Yeah, every time,
Okay.
especially if it's
Yeah, there's
a boss. Like that classic thing of
yeah.
like, oh, can I see you in my office after
Mhm,
work? I'm like, oh
mhm.
God, what is it now? I'm doomed.
Yeah, yeah,
They're gonna kick me out. I'm dead. What?
yeah.
What's gone wrong? So it's the RSD, the rejection sensitivity
Totally.
dysphoria kicks in.
Mhm.
I just assume, yeah,
Yeah,
no, I'm bad.
yeah. Totally with you on that. Totally with you on that. I've got there's a really, really funny thing. There's a Prince record where there's in the background, there's a bit where there's this noise that goes, "Whoa," and it sounds exactly like my dad calling me from the bottom of the stairs when I was a kid. And it's still to this day like, "What? What? Oh." Like,
Oh
exactly
Jesus.
bang on. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that is bad.
Ooh,
All right.
it's bad.
All right.
Okay.
Number eight. Number eight. What you got?
Yeah, I've got words, Martin. This is like
Words.
I'm really curious to see if anyone else out there in the
Hmm.
ADHD community has got this. I can never remember a single song beyond the chorus, or sometimes only half the chorus if it's a long chorus.
Right.
Like even when I used to go and see your group, Martin, and you'd play like your like your like when you played at the pub gigs and everyone wanted you to play
Yeah.
Hey Jude, right?
Oh yeah.
Even Hey Jude is like basically in the UK, it's like singing the freaking anthem, right?
Hmm.
I can only ever remember the chorus, but sometimes not even the whole chorus of even Hey Jude. I would
Well,
go, Hey Jude,
and then
and
that's
then
it. Blank.
nothing,
Nothing.
nothing,
And then you just wait
nothing.
silently until
Yeah.
na 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 na
Na
na
na na na
na.
na. Exactly,
Hey
exactly.
Jude.
Yeah.
That's big blank section in the song.
Mhm. Even some of my favourite songs, like, that really, like,
Yeah. Yeah. No,
resonate with
I
me,
am
and I like.
the same.
Are you?
Like I can do the first verse and the chorus usually, like the first,
Mhm.
so that section. I just think,
Okay.
don't bother writing a different second verse or third
Mm.
verse because I
Mhm.
don't remember it. Just write one
Mhm.
verse and a chorus and just
Yeah.
repeat it. Make it easy on me.
Like
That's
Sting when he
funny.
wrote "de do 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 de da da da" is all I want to say to you. That's the pretty
Hmm.
much the whole song.
There
Sting
we
is
go.
like it's helping me out. Appreciate it.
He's helping you out, Paul. He knows that you
Sting.
struggle, and me as
He
well.
speaks highly of us as well, I've heard.
He does. He does. He loves us.
Yeah.
Um.
So
All
you
right.
have that
Number
too, 'cause
8.
you're a musician
What?
and you sing
Yes.
songs, you perform songs.
Yeah. Yeah. But I couldn't be a lead singer. Like, if I was a lead singer
Okay.
and I had to like sing a whole bunch of songs,
Mhm.
nah, nah, that
Okay.
I
But
would
I think
I
it
would
is an
fail.
ADHD thing. I know that Jim Carrey, who has ADHD, he can't
Yes,
remember scripts. So he has big boards with the scripts written, behind the cameras for him.
right. Yeah, he's an interesting character actor because I was reading an interview with him a while back,
Mhm.
and the big question is who is Jim Carrey, right? Because he plays all
Mhm,
these character parts, right, from The
mhm,
Mask and
mhm,
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective,
mhm,
and all of that lot.
mhm,
Um, and he says there is no Andy. There is no, what's his name again? Jesus, I've forgotten. What's
Jim
his name?
Carrey.
Jim Carrey. Yeah, he says that there is no Jim Carrey. It is literally, it's almost like a
Mm,
blank nothingness, and then
mhm,
he can put
mhm,
on a character.
mm,
But he says outside of that, there is he is just an empty empty
Empty vessel.
shell of
I think
nothing.
I think he's had a lot of therapy, a
Yeah,
lot, to deal with that. Yeah,
yeah.
totally.
I think
It was
when
a
he did,
girlfriend or an ex-wife said, someone asked her, what's he like at home? She said, "You won't believe this, but he's exactly the same at home."
right? Oh wow.
Can you imagine
Yeah.
that? My
No,
God.
I can't.
Okay.
All right. Number 8 for me
Right. Yes.
is I hate showers. Showering. Showers,
Really.
hate it.
So,
I
like
want to.
my first one with the water in the face. So
Yeah,
what? But for you, it's the whole thing,
the whole
the
thing.
whole
The
experience.
whole thing. So
Right.
my problem with showers is that it's a lot of transitions, and ADHD
Mm,
people don't like transitions. So what I mean is that you have to kind of get up there. You have to take off all your clothes. You have to kind of get in
mhm,
the shower. You have to adjust the
mhm,
temperature till you get it right,
mm,
and then that's uncomfortable because you've got like water splashing on you,
mm,
which is which isn't which isn't good.
mhm,
Then you've got to like do the shower. Then you've got to get out, which is
mhm,
cold. Then you're cold,
mhm.
and I hate that.
Yeah.
And then you've got to dry yourself down,
Mm,
um, and and you don't ever feel the same as when you went in. You know, like when you get into the shower, you kind of feel like
mhm,
generally you're kind of warmish, and you get in, and then when you come out, even after you dry yourself down,
mm,
I feel like I've just been
mhm.
beaten up by a bunch of water droplets.
Okay. I think I'm the same. I'm pretty much the same. Just as you were talking about this, it came to mind. Without realizing it, I found my own um, hack for the same thing with the
Oh, a
transition.
hack.
My hack is I bought myself a really, really, really good toweling bathrobe, like the best that you could buy.
All right.
So there's a reward
Oh, you just put
at
that
the
on
end
and
of the
just kind of go
shower,
hug. You
like
go,
a really good
ooh,
one, you know.
ooh.
Yeah, and it's got a really nice. Yeah, it's not like the worst thing for me is like a really cheap, shitty bathrobe,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
yeah. No one wants
and
that.
not those microfiber shit bathrobes. Like, no,
No, no. I
no,
want
come
big,
on,
fluffy, white,
fluffy ones.
heavy
Yeah,
bathrobes.
yeah,
It's got to be heavy.
exactly.
Like you've got
Yeah,
to put it on and go, ooh, I can
mm.
feel the weight here.
Or a
You know
really
what?
good quality towel, a big one.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Big, fluffy, big ass towels. I'll tell you how
Yeah.
bad it was. I used to in way back. I used to fake me having a shower so that I wouldn't have a shower. So what I mean is I would make it look like I had a
Wow.
shower
Okay.
when I hadn't. So I turn
Mm,
on the water. I just
mhm,
just let it run for a while, and
mhm,
then I get the water and I splash it around the floor a bit,
mhm,
splash it up the walls a bit, move the soap,
mhm,
get the soap wet a bit.
mhm,
I mean, all of that
mhm,
made it look like I set up the scene like I'd had a
mm.
shower. So if someone came in, they get,
Wow.
oh yeah, Martin had a shower, and I hadn't. I
Mhm.
hadn't had a shower at all.
Okay.
I just,
Yeah.
I just did
It's
that.
really fun. The more we're talking about this now, the more I realise that I do things to help me with the shower, the whole shower routine. Like I rented an apartment in Palermo, and I said, okay, I'll take the apartment, but on the condition that you put in a new shower. She said, why? She said, I don't like plastic showers. I want a new shower, and I want it a bigger one, and it's got to be glass, and I want a proper shower head.
What?
Yeah, and she did it. Bless her.
Oh, what? She
Yeah, yeah,
remodeled
yeah.
the bathroom just for you,
Well, just replace the shower
right? But that's
because
still
like the
like,
shower, if I've got to have if I have a shower, I want it to be like I like a good shower. A good shower to me is
right,
like luxury, but not one of
right.
those like poncy ones where like two
Wow.
drips come out.
Good,
You
good for
know,
you, Paul.
or
Good for
or
you.
worse. that the temperature is really hard to control.
Mm-hmm.
So you can like control the temperature like with the like minuscule increments or
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, like if you've got shoddy plumbing shower
Oh,
equipment where
yeah.
you just nudge that temperature thing like by
Right.
literally just touching it with a couple of
Exactly.
atoms of your own finger,
Yeah.
and then it goes from cold to scalding hot, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Fuck this!
Or worse, when we
I
went
hate
to
you."
Cuba, we were in um, del Rio region. We went to
Mhm.
that Casa Particular, and
Right.
they had a shower, and
Yeah.
literally by the shower they had bare electrical wires. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Next to the
So
freaky shower.
right. So basically, how the system worked was the water came in, it went into like a metal cylinder, and then
Yeah.
there were some electrical wires going into the cylinder. So I guess there was a heating
Right.
element in there.
Yeah.
So then it's almost like a kettle element, right?
Mhm.
Just in
Mhm.
there, and then
Mhm.
that would be
But
plugged in,
bare
so it would
wires though,
heat the water.
bare
Yeah,
wires.
yeah, yeah.
Mental.
Bare wires, and what's even more mental is I think we even used it. Did we use it?
We did.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, yeah.
How stupid are we? We went, okay,
Right.
fair enough. I might die.
Honest.
Sure.
Die in a shower in the middle of the Cuban countryside. What a
I
way to
know.
go.
All right. Number
Okay.
7.
Number 7. Still on the words theme, Martin, but slightly
Mm-hmm.
different. I've got certain words, or in some cases, certain famous people that I can never ever remember. Right? And they're two
Yeah.
really specific ones, right?
Okay.
In terms of famous people. And I had to write them down. Otherwise,
Clearly.
I would have forgotten them. Clearly, right? Jeffrey Rush, bless him.
Oh, Jeffrey Rush from the
Like,
Pirates of the Caribbean
yeah,
films.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Love him. I can never
Love him.
remember his name. Worst, even worse than Jeffrey Rush, Colin Firth.
Oh, Colin Firth, who was in,
Yeah.
isn't he in Love Actually?
He was in King's Speech.
All right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
Kingsman? Is that him as well?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Colin Firth.
All right.
Can't remember his name.
All
But
right.
also, yeah, so, and there are some words as well, like self sabotage.
Mm-hmm.
And I use it a lot because it's something that I've got a history with,
I do.
right?
Yes.
I've done, I've doing even
So you like what?
self
You like,
sabotage.
all right. Yeah.
I've got like a
Good.
mental block with these kind of things, and like it's so annoying.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure I have but the thing is, I know I do the same thing, but I don't have these words written down, so I can't remember what the hell they are.
Okay, right.
I don't.
Okay,
I can't remember the
right.
words that I forget.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um. All right.
Okay.
My number 7 is um, I'm often late. Actually, it's less so now, but I never miss a flight.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can weirdly be late for all kinds of stuff, but a
Mm-hmm.
flight is like no. I will be there. I'm not risking nothing. I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to be there um, because it's important, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you miss a flight, then it becomes a real headache.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've never missed oh no, I've missed one flight. I've missed one flight in my life,
I've missed one as well. I
and it
missed
wasn't
one.
fun.
Yeah, no, for me neither. I had a terrible hangover. Yeah, I missed it. And
No,
yeah, the only one. I'm usually like the first one, when the gate comes up, I'm usually the first one. I'll sit there, read my book, listen to a podcast,
right?
whatever. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
So I
Yeah.
had a friend who came to stay at our house for a little bit just before she was going to go and get onto a flight from New York to Africa. I think it was.
Mm,
She worked. She was going to go and work there, and she asked me, "Okay, well, what time do I have to leave this house so I could
mm,
be at JFK to catch this flight?" And I said, "Okay, right. Well, you have to leave at 9 a.m. All right, or whatever it was. And she thought I was stupid, right? She went, nah, nah. And then she left at 10:30 or something, right?
Mhm.
And then she missed her flight.
Right.
And then she came back and she ended up staying at our house for like a month,
Wow. Oh
all
my god.
because she missed her flight.
Wow. See,
Yeah.
that was another reason why when I was like first thinking about do I have ADHD or not, and like a lot of people have problems with I'll say punctuation, no, punctuality.
Hmm.
Um, I don't. I'm always on time, always. But I've now come to realize that it's just part of my coping mechanism because it's for me. It's about I have enough problems, chaos to deal with in my head. I don't want me being anxious about arriving on time to increase it any more than it needs to be. So I'm always like on bang on time or really early. Just
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It's just a coping mechanism for your stress.
yeah, yeah. Also, people pleasing, big time. People, a lot of it's
Right.
people pleasing. I don't want to let
Yes.
people down.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely. All right. Number 6.
yes. I've got the swerve. Calling this the swerve, Martin. This is quite a popular one. Generally quite a good thing, but generally, like I'm really good with, like physical hand-eye coordination. And
Right.
so when I first heard about this a few months ago, I was like, oh, blimey, that's what I do. It's when you're walking around your apartment or the office or whatever, around your kitchen island, and you've got like a hip swerve when you go around it.
All right.
And
Yeah. So
apparently
you're
really common.
just kind of like fluidly move
Yeah. Yeah.
through your
But that's,
apartment by
but that for me, that's
dancing
a
around.
generic thing. I'm like really nimble. I
Hmm.
will never, it's very rare that I would fall over, you know.
Right.
I'm just not, I'm the opposite of clumsy, if you like.
All right.
So, yeah.
You're a graceful gazelle, like just
Yes,
like a
exactly. Which is,
ballerina.
which, gazelle is obviously because there's a Thompson's gazelle, right?
There is
It's
a
actually
Thompson gazelle.
a breed of gazelle, Martin.
Yeah, it is
Thompson
also
gazelle.
a hotel chain, which is I stayed at the Thompson Hotel when I had my kidney surgery.
Did
And
you?
yeah, and I didn't take a picture of me at the front where it said Thompson
Mm,
Hotel. I forgot to, but yeah.
okay. All right.
Um,
So
but
your
number
number
6, 6. All right. I I weirdly hoard specific products that I think are gonna be scarce. So
really? Okay.
I know that hoarding that it is funny because if you have ADHD, you're more likely to be a hoarder
Mm,
of things. I
mm-hmm,
mean, I'm looking at the room behind you. I'm thinking, yeah, there's some hoarding tendencies going on. Um,
mm,
so specifically, currently, every year, in the winter time, I make hot pots every
mm-hmm,
every week usually, and that's like a big Japanese kind of dish, and you get a big
mm-hmm,
bowl, and you get loads of
mm-hmm,
like stuff, and you just like
mm-hmm,
cook it in, just cook it at the table. Um, and there's a sauce that I buy for it, that I get at the Japanese store.
mm-hmm.
Um, and then when the COVID thing happened, for some reason, that sauce wasn't on the shelves. It was like
Mm-hmm.
everything else seemed to be
Right.
there, but that one product.
Mm-hmm.
And from that point, and it was like that for about 2 years.
Oh,
And
right.
then every time I saw it or they had one or two, I would
Mm,
just get them. So I ended up with on the
mm-hmm,
back shelves behind me, like loads of these bottles of
mm-hmm,
hot pot sauce. Got
mm.
loads of them back there.
Okay.
I'm hoarding them. And
Right.
then annoyingly, my sister-in-law who was over, she was like inquiring about what was in this bottle of hot pot sauce,
Mm-hmm.
because I hadn't actually ever looked,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like, oh god, it's full of shit. Like
Right.
it's just shit ingredient after shit ingredient, and we were like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I can't eat this.
Mm-hmm.
So like, even though I'd hoarded
Mm.
many
Is it a bit
bottles,
like is it a bit like a vice? Almost like because you probably knew it wasn't like the most natural product in the world.
is it
I
a
have a thing about even if I'm like going through a phase where I'm trying to eat well, I cannot resist they're a type of crisp, like cheesy puffy crisps,
mm-hmm,
and I can hoard cheese puff crisps. Do you have
right?
those in the States?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
sure we bloody well invented them.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course.
yeah, and I'm just looking at your room, and you are a little bit of a hoarder of things. Like, got loads of
I like
books and
I'm
little
not sure if it's
things.
hoarding. I like clutter. I like
Yeah.
busy, especially where I'm working or creating or stuff. I can't work in like a the opposite end of the measure would be like a minimalist. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I like stuff around me.
Right.
So
Yeah.
what in fact what you can see behind me is actually on all four walls of my studio.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's
I like
crack on.
clutter. Yeah. All right.
All right, number 5.
Are you sure it's number 5? I think I'm at number 9,
Oh,
Martin. The
9?
penultimate.
No,
One,
we've
two,
done
three,
10.
four, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, you're right. No, sorry, you're right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. I've got this is an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
I think very common in the ADHD community. Skin defects,
Oh, well.
right?
Okay.
Common in the ADHD community, like picking and like blah blah blah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Skin
gonna I'm
picking.
gonna I'm gonna ramp up this discussion and
Yep.
say that I
Okay.
realized
Yep.
quite recently when I found
Mm-hmm.
out it was a common thing in the ADHD community, I
Right.
realized that I have a sixth sense of where that fucking defect is, and I
Oh,
will go there with my finger, hand, or nail and find it almost like freaky precision.
all
Find it
right.
wherever it happens to be on my body. It's like I'll go there. It's not like I have to like scratch around or feel around for it. I could just go there. And it's like, right,
Right.
it's there. Like
Mm-hmm.
an innate instinct for where that freaking blemish is.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
impressive.
And
Um,
finding it, you find that blemish or that imperfection. It's like, oh, especially if you've got like,
mm-hmm.
you fell over and you've got a nice crust to pick out.
Ah.
Oh, yes. I can pick out a crust for like,
6.
and the satisfaction is like, oh, yeah,
Right. Yeah. All
yeah.
right. Let's
First time I've said that out
call.
loud, by the way. Just say,
Yeah, I know. I mean, I know
you
that
not like that?
skin picking. No, skin. Yeah, skin picking is a bit of a ADHD thing. Can be.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah. I've got some nice scars on my
mm,
tummy.
mhm.
So I'm just trying to ignore those because the nurse warned me, don't be picking those. I'm like,
Oh,
right.
right. You like a
Um,
dog, you have to have like a little you have to like have a little plastic crown fixed around your head to stop
right.
you like
Yes, I need a
licking
cone. I,
licking
I
your
need a
scars.
big plastic
A
cone around my
cone.
head. Yeah. Right. Now,
Okay.
number 5 for me is weird thing about ADHD is I can't hold more than 2 instructions in my head at any one time.
Right.
So if
Yes.
someone says, can you get the milk out of the fridge
Mhm.
and put some
Mhm.
toast on,
Mhm.
that's fine. But if you add another instruction onto that,
Absolutely.
the
Yeah.
whole thing I will only
Mhm.
remember 2 of those, and it
Yeah.
could be any of those 2.
Mhm.
So I can
totally.
reliably hold 2 instructions, but not
Mm.
3.
Yeah, it's like if I sent off to the supermarket to get 3 items, I'll forget one of them
Right.
unless it's written
So
down,
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which is
So it's
insane, isn't it?
like
It's only 3, you know?
right. But, like, it's that thing of, like, when you used to get lost or, when you do get lost
Mm,
or whatever, and you ask someone, "Oh, how do you get to,
mhm.
say, this pub?" And they'll go down the left,
Yeah,
turn left, then it's second on the right, and then it's go
yeah,
all the way down there, and you go past the farm, and then
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I can only remember the first 2
Mhm.
things, and after that, blur.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Blur.
already thinking after the first 2 instructions, I'm already thinking, "Okay, I'll take the left and I'll take the right, and then I'll ask someone else."
Damn right. See,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
just do the first 2 instructions, and then I'll get the next 2 from the next
yeah,
person. That
yeah.
makes complete sense to me.
I'll tell you a
Alright.
funny story. Actually, it turned out not to be very funny, but I was
Oh,
coming back
no.
from Venice last weekend.
Am I gonna be
I
sad?
was really, really tired. We had
Right.
friends as well in the car, and I was driving from the
Alright.
station back
Yeah.
home, right?
Go on then.
And, it wasn't my car, so I wasn't very familiar with it. I was tired,
Alright. Yikes.
etcetera, etcetera. It was dark,
Mhm.
it was raining.
Okay.
I had 2 different people blurting out instructions to me
Oh,
of what
blimey.
direction to take,
Okay.
and I had to stop the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I said,
Pick
"Sorry,
one.
guys, pick one. I can only deal with one of you."
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was like
Alright.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Anyway,
no. Okay. That was a good ending. I was
yeah.
expecting a sad ending where you took 2 instructions and then you crashed.
No, but it turned bad because one of the people got really upset with me,
Ugh,
and
well,
she took it as an offence. She said I was only trying to help you, and she went off on one. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
unfortunately. Anyway,
Oh, well.
anyway,
Alright, where were
okay.
you? Alright, so that's my number 5. So, number 4.
For me, it's similar to yours last one, Martin.
Okay, interesting.
Combinations of numbers. I'll give you something really specific here. With I do a lot of photography, right?
Okay.
And by necessity, I have to be pretty much a point and shoot kind of photographer because if someone
Right.
says, "Oh, so Paul, what's your focal length? What's your aperture? What's your ISO and your exposure time?" Right?
Mhm.
Or if someone says, "Oh, I shot this photograph with a focal length of 23.0, aperture of f's over 11, ISO 640, exposure time of 1 over 3,200." Like, no, 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 no. But not only can I not hear it and take it on, I can't do it,
Right.
right?
Oh,
So
I see.
when I take a photo, it's pretty much I set it up for myself, and
Right.
I am pretty much 99% just focused on the composition of the photo. End of. I can't do it. I
Okay.
can't do it. I can't be
Right.
thinking, "Oh, what kind of exposure have I got?" And blah blah blah. No, look, beyond one
Y
number or 2 maximum, it's just blur. It's just like a mess in my head.
Alright.
Yeah, so kind
That's
of similar to
interesting.
your last one, really.
Yeah. Alright, well, my number 4 is, wearing heavy clothes to uh, r wearing heavy clothes regardless of what the weather is outside.
Mhm,
So, sometimes I'll put on a nice kind of big hoodie,
mhm,
and then I'll get like, "It's really hot today.
mhm,
You don't need that today."
mhm,
And I'm wearing it because I feel anxious and I kind of want that weight. We were
mhm,
talking about
mhm.
heavy bathrobes. It's kind of the
Right.
same thing.
Yeah.
I'll sometimes just want to wear stuff that makes me feel
Mhm,
comfortable
mhm,
emotionally, even if it makes me uncomfortable
mhm,
temperature wise. Like I could be roasting away like a
mhm.
bloody jacket potato
Mhm.
in inside my warm clothing,
Right.
but I'll do it because it makes me feel calmer.
Yeah.
I can remember
I totally get that. Mhm.
walking home from school. You know those big Parker jackets that we used to have.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know
yeah.
the big, and then you used to have like a big fluffy hood that you could zip
Mhm,
all the way up, almost like
mhm.
South Park Kenny style, right? We
South
just
Park.
like
Yeah.
have a little. So I used to zip up my coat all the way up, and I could walk home like that, even when it was like warm, because
Yeah, yeah.
I just
No, I
felt
totally
like
get
I needed to cocoon myself.
coincidentally, yesterday, for the first time this year, I put a jumper on, and I really liked it. I really like that
Oh,
feeling of
really?
I look forward fashion-wise to when it comes to autumn and winter because you can put heavier stuff on. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally get that.
Yeah, no, I like wearing jeans, and when the weather gets warm and it starts heating
Mm.
up, and everyone goes, "Why don't you just wear shorts? Just what the hell are you doing?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm the last person in the United States of America
Right.
to transition into shorts
I'm
because
kind of a
it's
bit
like, "Ugh,
I
don't do it."
go along with the idea of, like, they say about it's not I think it's not just you, it's like English people in general. Someone once said that English people can't wear shorts, they just look like someone stole their trousers.
Yeah, yeah. Although, once I'm in the shorts, fine. I'll just be shorts all hum
Mhm.
along. But
Right.
but but now but now the weather's cooling down. I'm like, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
liking.
yeah.
I can wear sweaters, jumpers. I can put long trousers on,
Yeah.
long
Okay.
pantaloons. All right.
Or your kilt, Martin.
If I were only Scottish, I would. Number
Didn't
three,
stop me.
Mr. Thompson. The top three weird things
Weird
about
things,
our ADHD.
I've got slanty,
Slanty.
Martin. I walk I find it really difficult to walk in a straight line, which really
Okay.
irritates both my partner and my son. We walk along the street and I generally lean into them,
And then you kind of force them out into
shep
the road.
shepherding or into a wall.
Right, into a wall. Is it just
Yeah,
gradually moving closer to them?
exactly. And my son, he calls me Pop. He said, "Pop, you're doing it again. You're doing it again.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Walk in
Ew,
your own lane. Walk
look in
in
your
your
own
own
yes.
lane.
What?
Jesus Christ.
It's not a chicane."
We're not some sort of chariot race, some Roman chariots where you just try to barge me off the course.
Yeah. Stay
No.
on your rails.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, blimey, that is funny. You know what? I have been accused that before. Not very often though, but it
Mm.
has happened where someone says, can you just go over there a bit? You're just forcing me
Yeah.
out, out into the
Right.
road.
Well, until
Yeah.
yesterday, I thought I only did it with Tom. Until I mentioned to my girlfriend last night about it. She said, "You do that all the time with me. You kidding me? All the time." Yeah, yeah.
See, that's why it's important to have your. I know because we're going to talk about ADHD awareness, right, in a up and coming
Mhm,
episode, um, where if you talk about your things that
mhm,
your ADHD, you suddenly
mhm.
realize that the that from the feedback that you're way
Mm.
more ADHD than you thought
Yeah.
you were.
I think it was one of the first I think it was the first episode of the podcast we did. We took it about ADHD was like oozing out of us,
Mhm.
you know. And yeah,
Yeah.
the more podcasts we do, the more we talk about it, we're just like, yeah, freaking oozing out of me, for Christ's
Oozing.
sake.
I know, right? It's funny.
Oozing.
My number 3 is,
Mhm.
in hotels, I weirdly always remember the room number, even if I
Mm.
don't have to.
Right.
So, for some reason, I'll look at the room number once.
Mhm.
They'll say, "Oh,
Yeah.
you're in room 319, right?"
Mhm,
I'll just
mhm,
look at it once, and that's all I will
mhm,
remember it, even
mhm.
though if someone then asks me, "What hotel are you in?" I don't know. I
Right.
couldn't name you the hotel I
Mhm,
was in,
mhm.
but I can remember the number of the room,
Yeah.
and I don't have to because
Mhm.
if I forgot, I
Mhm,
could just go up to the front desk.
mhm.
I'd say, "This is who I am. Here's my
Yeah, yeah,
ID. What's my room number?" And they'll say, "It's
yeah.
room number room 319." So I don't have to remember it. It's
Mhm.
not a requirement, but yeah, I do. I don't know
Nice,
why. I always
nice.
do. Mm,
It reminds me of there's a film, isn't there? It's actually really good with John Cusack. There's a famous hotel room in, I can't remember where it is, New York or Boston, that is haunted,
okay.
and anyone that stayed in there for more than like 4 or 5 hours suddenly had suicidal instincts they didn't know they had. And
Ooh,
a couple of people died, threw themselves out the windows, and
I better
it's a
stay out
really
of that room.
fucking scary film. Apparently, it's a true story.
All right.
And it was based on this specific room number of a specific hotel. Anyhow, okay.
Um,
So then my penultimate in my top 10, I call this tuck me up, but not too much, right? A couple
okay.
of things like bed, sleeping routines. Um, if I'm sleeping with either my like I don't know my with a pajama or boxer shorts, I like to sleep with a hand tucked under the elastic. Okay.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I have to have at least 1 foot out of the bedclothes,
It's weird
like
how having
hanging over the bed.
right, how you can regulate your internal temperature so much just by having a foot out.
Yeah,
Like it's like night and day. Night and
that's right. I
day.
have to dangle.
All right.
I have to
Yeah.
dangle, Martin. Yeah.
Right. Maybe that's the secret. I don't know. It isn't really, but I was just like thinking, oh yeah, maybe that's the secret to kind of how you fall asleep. It's just like everything's
Yeah.
perfectly set up.
Right.
But I know that if you struggle to fall asleep, you can set yourself up perfectly, and it will
Mm,
still make a difference.
right.
But yeah, no, that's interesting. Yeah, there are certain yeah yeah. I'm struggling with sleep at the moment because apparently it's quite common post op to have insomnia. So
Hmm.
I've been currently sleeping up to about 2 a.m. and then
Right.
waking up, and then I can't get back to sleep till about 5 a.m.
Hmm.
So that's been happening a lot. So that's not been much fun.
Yeah,
But, yeah,
I'm not good the day after if I've not had my 8 hours. I'm not good. I know
yeah,
people. A friend of mine, she on average has 4 hours. Average 4 hours.
yeah, yeah. I mean, one of our regular podcast listeners, Alexandra, who listens,
Hmm.
who in on TikTok in Greece. Yeah, so she was saying that,
Wow.
yeah,
Wowzers.
that that she has
Okay.
fairly, yeah. All right, number two. Oh, that's my number two. Is
Yeah.
um, I always carry an emotional support drink. I'm
Okay.
waving one around the camera now. Um, so, and that was especially true when I worked in offices. I
Hmm.
would always have a drink that I would take with me
Hmm. Hmm.
from my desk. I would basically make a coffee and I just drink it really slowly um, until, for about half a day, and then I'd make one again, and I'd carry it around from a meeting to a meeting, um,
Right. Okay.
just to
Yeah.
kind of calm myself down.
I'd have to have a pen or a pencil, and if I didn't
Mm.
have it, it would. I'd feel it. I could.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You'd feel
Yeah.
exposed.
For comfort, for exposed. Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
You'd be
Okay.
agitated, and I would. So like I have this here, and yeah, It's my, some
Okay.
people have emotional support dogs. I have an emotional. I also have an emotional support dog, but I have an emotional support drink.
For some people, it's like a cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
Becomes like a really, what's the word?
Yeah.
Ceremonial almost. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Um.
Uh,
No. Number one. Number
Number
one.
one, Martin. I've put it as number one because I think it's really niche, and I'd be fascinated if you
All
or
right.
anyone else in our community has had anything like this. It's very specific and niche.
Okay.
When I drink out of a bottle, a cold drink, I
Right.
count the gulps as they go down,
Oh yeah.
and it's
I know that.
usually 9,
Oh, 9. Oh, so you have a
not
specific
8 or
amount?
9 or 10, and it's it's bigger than me. It's not something I can control. It's not something I can control. Yeah, but if I drink out of a glass or a mug or something, no. Out of a bottle like a orange juice or something like that,
Right.
or water, I always count the gulps.
Hmm. I can kind of relate to that in as far as there's a part of my brain that when I'm drinking starts to think I'm not breathing now, so I'm starting to die at this point. Even though I'm drinking, I am dying.
Right.
If I carry on drinking, I will just die. Right.
Mm,
So there's a little bit of an alarm, a bit of a
mm.
panic goes on that has to kind of like make sure that I'm not that I don't forget to not drink
Hydrating.
or something like that. I don't.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it feels like an irrational
Mhm.
thought
Right.
somehow. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
make sense, but
I
yet.
can sometimes I've got a thing with hydration. I'll be in a hot country on holiday or whatever. I've forgotten for the last 3 days to buy water, and I could go to the supermarket to buy water, and I will come out without water. It's bizarre.
It's the
Very
silent
bizarre.
killer.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's lovely.
Drum roll,
No.
mate. Drum roll. What's your
Oh, right.
number one?
All right. This one's again weirdly specific, right?
Right.
It's something that irritates me. It's a sound that irritates me. Um,
Mm.
every time. So this is a very common trope in movies and TVs. Like when the actor or whatever comes up to a microphone and starts talking, they always put a bit of microphone background squeal feedback
Mhm.
sound just as they're talking, and
Right.
every time they will do it.
Can you give an example?
So if you're watching a film, right, and
Yeah.
then there's a party or something like a sort of a maybe there's a sort of a marriage thing going on, right? It's a
Right.
marriage ceremony, and there's a stage and there's a microphone, and some character gets up and gets to the microphone and goes up to it to kind of do a speech,
Mhm.
and there is always a feedback squeal that they put in over the top, like a beep, like you know
Okay.
that feedback
I
sound
got it. I got it. Oh,
that,
yes.
and it's every single time.
Right.
Like, and you will
Mm.
notice it. I will now that I put it in your head
Mhm.
and you see something and then someone comes up to a
Mhm.
microphone and starts talking, you go, "Oh yeah,
Mhm.
there's that feedback
Okay.
squeal."
That
And then
reminds
it's
me of
again and again.
yeah.
And I find it
It
irritating
right. It rep
irrationally.
It's a kind of a similar thing or not, I don't know. I can't stand when people, put background noises or music in a series or a documentary or a film, and it's has no fucking sense to be there at all. All it does is just irritate the hell out of me. Think, why is it there? Or they're trying to, just because they're bad writers or bad directors, and the only way they could create a sense of drama is by putting like dramatic music in that's just like really
Mm-hmm.
grating and makes no sense. And then once you hear it, you can't hear anything else, and the
Mm-hmm.
film, whatever it is ruined.
It's ruined. You spent
Ruined.
5 years filming these exotic penguins, but you put this stupid soundtrack over it, and now
Yes.
I don't give a crap.
Well, some people, that you say that, some people get irritated by that because BBC, when they do nature programs, they exaggerate the sounds of everything.
Mm.
And for some people, that's really irritating. It's like not natural sounds. But they enhance it just to make it more dramatic.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That was
There you
our
go.
top 10 weird things about ADHD.
That was a good one.
That was good fun.
Enjoyed that.
I feel
It
like
does
we could.
remind me, Martin, of if the the thing that we do with our podcast that I think is particular is that ADHD is not always about the big things, like the ones that the really big ADHD the indicators
Yeah.
or signs. It's sometimes the little things, like everyday stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
A
All
lot.
right, let's get back in the elevator and we'll go back
Yes,
up.
yes.
And we'll work ourselves out of this whole episode.
Yeah.
Right, let's just get in. All right, in we go. Cool.
It was getting
All
a bit
right.
stuffy down there. Slight smell of down there. Still,
Yeah.
inevitably.
There's weird stuff happens down in this. If as mayors, we spend our money on the public, right? On public stuff.
Exactly.
I mean,
I've
who's
also
going
got
to
a
go
couple of
down?
hams that are curing down there.
Oh, have you? All right.
Yeah, a couple of hams.
Nice. Lovely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's just quickly do the post thing because I do have one post thing that I can read out. So do your
yes.
line,
That's my
Mr.
bit, isn't it?
Thompson.
So
Yes.
your feedback is vital to us, Martin,
Mhm.
and listeners. We read all of your comments. We might read yours out on a future podcast, a bit like the one that Martin's, I think, is teed
Right.
up for us.
Yeah, and we I was talking to Alexandra again. I talked about her earlier, and she says, "Yeah, it's so much fun listening to you guys," with a little heart smiley face.
Nice.
So we appreciate the listen.
We do. We
and
do.
She thinks we're funny, so that's nice.
It's nice. Nice.
Yeah. So get in the comments, drop us a line, tell us what your weird ADHD thing is.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure this is going to be a topic that we can come back to because I kind of feel like,
oh God, yeah.
I've
got some stuff that I didn't put in.
Yeah, so
I've got
did I.
stuff that I didn't put in. Yeah, okay.
So let's return, and then if you have one yourself, put it in the comments, and then we'll get to it for the next episode.
Don't make us feel like we're the only freaks in this.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. Back us up.
Okay.
All right. So it just leaves me to say that ADHDville is delivered every Tuesday to all purveyors of fine podcasts. Please subscribe to the pod and rate us most weird. And feel free to correspond at will in the comments. But wait, there's more. If you wish to see our beautiful, beautiful faces, then sally forth to the YouTubes and the TikToks. And you can also pick up a quill and email us at ADHDville@gmail.com. But in the meantime, be fucking kind to yourself.
And I beseech you, fellow ADHDers, know thyself, sons of the hounds, come hither and get the flesh.
Yeah.
There, says the mayor. That's that.